This week's review is following a request and is another one of those pistols that I have neglectfully overlooked. So, high time I rectified that point then. Today, it's the turn of the PR-776 8-shot revolver. Hello and welcome to AAR on Air. It's revolver time this week with a revolver that is somewhat different to the usual ones we've become familiar with recently. It's 8-shot and magazine fed rather than individual shells. Stats and walk around then first. It is 290mm or around 11.5 inches long and tops the scales empty at an impressively original firearms like 1123 grams, and it feels every bit of that, and I mean that in a positive way. The barrel is 6 inches long and rifled. It comes in a rather fetching anthracite or grey colour, which I quite like, and Mrs. AAR definitely gave it the thumbs up. Praise from Caesar then. It is all metal construction as you would expect from that weight, with a rubberized plastic grip which hides the CO2. It has open sights, front and rear, with the front sporting a white dot and the rears being fully adjustable for windage and elevation, which is a nice to have and often overlooked by a lot of manufacturers. I must admit to liking the venting on the barrel, not that it's going to get that hot in use. Some may dislike the quite bold lettering on the side of the barrel, but this can quite often be removed if preferred with a little time and care. The cylinder is where the difference is on this particular revolver, because it doesn't use the shell system that you find on things such as the SAA, the Webley Mark 6, etc, etc. Instead, it has a drop-in 8-round circular magazine system, which naturally gives you more shots than a typical 6-round revolver. It's quicker and easier to load than a typical speed loader that often comes supplied with these guns. And it becomes more of an ornament because most of the time they don't actually work and they're not particularly a practical item. That said, there are the odd ones that work, but not many. There are 2 of these magazines included and they do feel very substantial. They're quick to fill up with 177 pellets and, as already stated, quick to drop into the cylinder, giving more trigger time. The safety doubles up as the release for the cylinder, and then the probe will release the magazine. Filling this with a 12-gram CO2 is pretty simple and familiar to anyone who has one of these types of revolvers. Pull the handle back out the way, drop in your 12-gram CO2, tighten with the screw at the bottom, and return the grip, and you're good to go. The trigger is single and double action, rotating the cylinder, so naturally taking more effort, unless of course you opt to use the hammer to do most of the work. The latter method is going to help improve your accuracy because you're taking a little more time, which also allows the CO2 to maintain a little more temperature, and it means the trigger is lighter, enabling you to stay on target more. Power would be my next thing. Now in this case, Gamo are not making any wild and wonderful claims, because whilst they state up to 122 meters per second or 400 feet per second with alloy pellets, they also state a maximum of 3 joules. And also justify this by stating the velocity figures are gained from an average of the first 8 shots. They do, however, state you should get 50 shots from this as a minimum. Time to check out some of this then. Well, using standard 8.44 grain GISBs, I saw 333 feet per second, which is 2.08 foot-pounds or 2.82 joules. Using lighter Gamo 5 grain alloy pellets, I saw 423 feet per second, which is 1.99 foot-pounds or 2.69 joules. I also tried the 7.33 grain JSB RS and saw 361 feet per second, which is 2.12 foot-pounds or 2.88 joules. Now I did try the H&N alloys, but it hated them. I wouldn't play ball at all, sadly. So it certainly exceeded the feet per second claim figure and came very, very close to the 3 joules max figure. Pretty impressive. I then continued shooting to see what the total shot count was per 12 grams CO2. And I saw between 60 and 80 shots before everything started to go south. And it was a cold day. Target work then. Usual 10 metres indoor range. No sighting aids, just a guy who wears glasses and is a bit rubbish with open sights. Here goes. To be honest, I'm quite impressed with that. It does need the sights adjusting slightly, but you do have the option on this revolver to do just that. Yep, I'm pretty pleased with that overall. But what do I think about the gun overall? I think it has a great weighty feel to it. The action feels really nice. The increased shot count is always a real boon. And of course it helps prolong the enjoyment. Yes, some people will miss the experience of loading the shells in as they do in the other type, and that I understand. As with all of those types, the grip can be a little annoying and needs a little work to stop it sliding around. But again, no deal breaker. The fact this is pellets is a major plus and pretty much does away with the ricochet problem of BBs and also helps increase its accuracy. The overall quality is pretty darn good and there's no movement of the barrel to the body as some of them are prone to do. It feels solid and well built. We like the overall design and the jury is out in the AAR household as to whether or not we like the white lettering on the side or not. It is good fun and feels really nice. And at around £137 isn't going to deprive the missus of another pair of shoes or the kids of another PlayStation game. That's me in trouble again, isn't it? But you know what I mean. Give it a try and see what you think. And let me know in the comments. Give us a thumbs up if you've really enjoyed it. Usual subscribe and alarm bell buttons need a press if you haven't already done so. As always, check out this little lot for a chat, merch, ideas, comments and all kinds of stuff. For now though, stay safe and shoot safe. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching.